So the third movie is a disappointment. The fourth movie is stretching the franchise. And of course, the fifth movie is where it gets good again. Let's test that theory. Hey everybody, Sexy Matt the Pharaoh Wizard here. So you see me rate the top 10 third movies, you've seen me rate the top 10 fourth movies, so logical progression, the fifth movie's where it gets good again. At least according to the Weekly Planet podcast. Of course, researching this video, I found a lot of fifth movies are absolute total garbage, ruin franchises, it gets really bad. But for a very small percentage of them, it is where it gets good again. So let's test that out. Before we get right into it, a couple rules. Of course, this is my own personal list. So if you have any differentiating opinions, let me know in the comments below. And again, I am going chronologically, not canonically. So when the movie was released rather than where it takes place in the franchise. So for an example, Empire Strikes Back is not a fifth movie, that's a second movie. The fifth movie in the Star Wars franchise would be Attack of the Clones. But there are some good ones, so let's get into it.
Number 10, Leprechaun in the Hood.
So this movie is absolutely entertaining, but not for the way they wanted it to be. Take Warwick Davis's creepy killer leprechaun character, put him in the hood, and have him rap and team him up with Ice-T. That's a movie. This movie is insane. It is definitely one of those so bad it's good movies, but I still enjoy it. It is so goofy and off point and no idea what they're doing, but they went so much for it. You just kind of endear it and kind of like it because they just went for it, man. They just went for it. But it is really bad, but in a fun way. So I enjoy this one. But that's why it's number 10, though. It's not actually good, but it's so bad it is good.
Number 9, Pirates of the Caribbean, Dead Men Tell No Tales.
So yes, these are the top 10 fifth movies, not necessarily good movies or even the best in the franchise, but just compared to other fifth movies. So yeah, Dead Men generally don't tell any tales, makes it on this list. I enjoyed it more than most people. It's a lot of good fun pirating adventures, and I like the effect of the ghosts with their hair kind of being all floaty, things like that. But I do understand a lot of people felt like they were phoning it in, and the ending was kind of goofy. But you know what? It tied into some of the early movies, and I'm a sucker for some canon, and I like a good pirating adventure. So yeah, definitely enjoyed this movie. Maybe not as much as the others, but somewhat. Yar!
Number 8, A Nightmare on Elm Street 5, The Dream Child.
So Nightmare on Elm Street hit the hat trick, made it onto all three lists. And the fifth one, The Dream Child, being the finale of the Dream trilogy, the inter-franchise trilogy of 3, 4, and 5. Maybe not the strongest in that trilogy, but still kind of enjoyable. It does have some goofy moments of like Super Freddy and Chef Freddy, things like that, but it also had some really creepy visuals and like this MC Escher dream of running up and down, and this idea of someone being pregnant and their baby dreaming, and that baby's dreams affecting their dreams. Some really cool stuff and scenes added to this. So it's not totally the worst one. It's not the best, but I still enjoy it a lot. It's just got some cool moments to it, and I really like that.
Number 7, Fast 5.
So this is the movie that actually started the idea of the fifth one is where it gets good again. And this is the one where, they decided to stop being realistic and just go for it, man. And I may not like the Fast and Furious franchise, but damn it, I can respect that idea of let's just go for it. We're not, dealing with this. People want to see explosions and fast cars. Let's give them that. Let's give them explosions, fast cars, Coronas, and family. It's all about family. But yeah, they just went for it, and I kind of enjoy that. And when I asked on Twitter what's everyone's favorite fifth movie, this one came up a fair amount of times, and sure, yeah, I'll give you it. I'm not a fan of the franchise itself, but damn it, I can respect going nuts.
Number 6, Puss in Boots.
So, of course, this one could have been a cheap cash-in, and I was expecting it to be because Shrek has kind of been synonymous with that, with their straight-to-DVD releases and their video games and tons of merchandise. They're become very cheap, but, and I was expecting that with Puss in Boots. But, turns out it's an incredibly animated, funny, fast-moving, movie. It's a lot of fun, and I like the character of Puss in Boots, voiced by Antonio Banderas. I was expecting it to be kind of just a cheap crap cash-in, but no, they surprised me. They put a lot of work into it, had some great animation, some fun jokes. It's just a fun movie. I enjoy this one.
Number 5, You Only Live Twice.
So the first time a Bond movie makes it onto this list. This is one of the better Bond movies, and it kind of started a lot of the tropes that people kind of affiliate with Bond. Things like, a disfigured villain, as well as one of the most popular villains, Blofeld. And also goofy things like, a base built inside a volcano, and the villain's idea of starting World War III. A lot of those tropes of Bond movies started with this one, and it's because it is such a well-liked, enjoyed movie. And, it's one of my favorite Sean Connery Bond movies, and yeah, it's just set a lot in motion, and things that are still looked at today, so good job.
Number 4, Captain America, The First Avenger.
So in previous lists, I generally left out Marvel movies because I consider the Marvel Cinematic Universe as one long, continuous franchise. And so their third and fourth movies, compared to other things on the list, generally didn't live up to it. But this one, not only is it good for a fifth movie, it's a really good movie and one of the forgotten gems of the Phase 1 movies. I really liked The First Avenger. Really painted Captain America and is what he lives up to today. And Chris Evans, just killing it. Haley Atwell doing great in this. All these great supporting roles. I loved Red Skull. This one's actually really good, and I don't think gets the respect it deserves for being a really solid Phase 1 movie. And probably one of the best Phase 1 movies altogether. But yeah, Captain America, The First Avenger can avenge me any day, man, because it is awesome.
Number 3, Mission Impossible, Rogue Nation.
Alright, so all cards on the table. I have not seen this movie. I generally try to avoid movies that star a closeted, insane half-man. So I haven't seen it, but when researching this list, this one had the most consistently high reviews from both critics and fans. It's seating at somewhere at 95 on Rotten Tomatoes for critics and 87 for fans. So I felt like it wasn't fair to this movie to leave it off the list just because I haven't seen it for my own, bias against the actor. But apparently everyone loves this movie, so I got to give it a special shout out. Maybe it's something I should get over and just check out the Mission Impossible franchise because I've only seen the first one. But yeah, apparently this one is another fifth one where it got good again because it's still going and people are still liking it.
Number 2, X-Men, First Class.
So Fast Five is, where we got the phrase, the fifth is where it gets good again. But X-Men First Class is the movie that epitomizes that, because the X-Men franchise was just dead at this point. After X-Men Origins Wolverine murdered the franchise, it was just done. We were just done with X-Men movies. But then the amazing director Matthew Vaughn comes along. They give him kind of a small budget, pretty small for an X-Men movie. And he just kills it with this. And they kind of gave him free reign to do what he wants. And I think that proves best for at least these X-Men movies. Just give him free reign, because this is a fantastic X-Men movie. Definitely the best group movie. And when I came out with my worst to best X-Men list, it was debated that this one could have been the best. Really kind of depends on your preference, but this is a fantastic X-Men movie. One of my favorites, and just kicked the franchise right in the pants and got it going again. It's the reason why we have a Deadpool and a Logan and, Days of Future Past. Like, this got the franchise going again, kicked it right in the pants, and I'm glad it did. I'm glad we have some good X-Men movies, and I really enjoyed First Class.
Number 1. Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix.
So Harry Potter and the Conservative Bitch Teacher. So this one is the second highest grossing fifth movie of all time. Only coming short of The Hobbit, The Desolation of Smaug. Why did that one make so much money? Why? It sucked. Ugh. Anyways, Harry Potter and the Conservative Bitch Teacher is actually really great. You can tell they're building up to an end of a franchise, and outside Voldemort, one of the most interesting villain characters, for me at least, taking this really awful person and putting it in the middle of this supposedly amazing world of Hogwarts, was a great idea. It's like, if when parents want to restrict and view video games or whatever, would just ruin video games. She just came in and just ruined Hogwarts. And she was a great development in that. And then, Harry starting this rebellion on the side, showing his leadership. It was a really good movie. One of my favorite Harry Potter movies. And definitely the best fifth movie in a franchise that we've gotten so far. So that was my top 10 fifth movies. I really felt like the universe wanted me to do this, considering last year 3 different franchises had their fifth movie, and this year Jurassic Park gets their fifth movie. So I felt, perfect timing to get this out there. So what'd you guys think of this list? What are your favorite fifth movies in a franchise? This was a very hard list to do because there is some definite garbage that are fifth movies, but it was interesting to try and find some good ones in there, and I think I did. So next time, it's the sixth movies where they're just kicking a dead horse. So I'm Sexy Matt the Pharaoh Wizard. Until next time, hold on to your hold slot.